Mitram and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps Education Channel. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy. We are continuing our fascinating series called PanHandles, Panhandle Geography. This is part 5. Today we are looking at a unique panhandle on the South African region in the African continent in a country called Namibia, formerly Southwest Africa, called Caprivi Panhandle. This is the Caprivi Panhandle. Panhandle is a geographic region, geopolitical region. It's a salient protrusion. That means it protrudes or it intrudes into some other regions. It is salient because it's very prominent, it's very unique. You can immediately sense it. How the panhandles are formed, geographical regions, political regions, historical regions, all these things are there in the background. After this presentation, you will get a unique, fascinating aspect of Caprivi Panhandle in Africa. Panhandles can be national, subnational, between the nations. So this is the between nations. So this is the national. We also discuss certain other panhandles within the subnations also. This is again our panhandle series that I have opened for you, the playlist. We have completed Pathankot in Gurdaspur district, East Punjab, and Wakhan Corredor, Kuppam Panhandle in the Rayalaseema, Chittoor regions, Kinwat Panhandle in the Nanded, Marathwada regions, and today we are looking at the Caprivi Panhandle, Namibia in southern African region. Excuse me for my allergies. And Mitro, this is the generally the panhandle. Most of the panhandles people know in the United States. In Florida panhandle, that is the Tallahassee, Pensacola regions, Texas panhandle, Amarillo regions, Lubbock, and also on the Nebraska panhandle. So Oklahoma panhandle. You can see this this particular protrusion, the salient intrusion into other surrounding states or provinces is a panhandle, Oklahoma panhandle, and so on. If you are new to my presentations, and I have posted more than 480 or so as of 2024 January, the fascinating presentations in the iconographic form means if you go and look at them, you will get tremendous amount of knowledge. My 40 years of passionate work, this is my passion. I'm by training agriculturist and plant breeder, crop breeder, and taught biotechnology and bioinformatics and so on. And so you can find these at, there are South Asia maps, JRD 488 videos as of January 2024. So this is the panhandle, Caprivi Panhandle. Let me expand this for you. This is in a country called Namibia or Southwest Africa. This is the Southern Africa. This is the western part. South Africa, Southwest Africa, Botswana, Angola, Zambia, Rhodesia, that is also called Zimbabwe. Panhandle. This is also a quadripoint region. 4 countries: Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, Rhodesia. They join at a very small in the Zambezi river border that I will show you in the other. Caprivi Panhandle, this is the Caprivi region, this is the province called Caprivi. This province is called Okavango. So, or sometimes Greater Okavango is also called Okavango Panhandle because that is a unique delta, inland delta. Okavango River or Kuando River comes from Angola mountain range plateaus that flows here across finally merges or disappears into the Kalahari region. So it's a delta, inland delta. That means it won't find a ocean outlet. That's a very unique. Still, because Botswana is a very big country with small population, maybe 1.5 to 2 million, it's a very big country. So there is a lot of wildlife there. That's a unique wetland region, like Ramsar wetland regions like that. Let's look at the After this presentation, you will get a deeper understanding. Before that, you can see the Karas province and Hardu province and Kunani province and Omahe province. This is the Okavango province. This is the Caprivi province of Namibia, modern Namibia. And this is the African continent. This is the German Empire. German Empire existed from 1885 to 1915 or 17 until Treaty of Versailles, or we can say until the end of, we disappeared it, sorry for that, until the end of World War One. So, German Empire 1871-1918. The Europeans start colonizing. First European to colonize and discover this is Vasco da Gama. Later, other European colonies started appearing. Germans, they found a small settlement at a place called Ludres. And other Europeans set up themselves at Walvis Bay. Germany entered into the race of colonialism, hegemonism, or dominating the native societies. Late already the Portuguese and Spanish and French as very big colonies throughout the world. Germans started, they found these three colonies. Namibia, this is called German Southwest Africa. Namibia is the Southwest Africa. This is East Africa, German East Africa. Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Koinga region of Mozambique, and all those areas around the Great Lake Victoria. And this is the Cameroon and other areas. This is the German Empire. Scramble for Africa means the Belgians, the French, the British, and all the Germans, they tried to grab different lands from Cape, that is a Cape province, that is a Cape Town, to Cairo. So that is called Scramble for Africa. Germans has their colonial empire in Namibia, Southwest Africa, a German Southwest Africa, and also on the eastern part of the Hindu Mahasagar. That is in this region, Tanzania, extended Tanzania region. So they wanted an access from here to Tanzania, or Indian Ocean. So they know the Zambezi River flows there. So they negotiated treaty. At that time, this Zanzibar, this east of Tanzania, is under German control. So they have made a treaty with the British Empire, London, Berlin conclude. The Germans got Heligoland, an area in the northern sea. I will show you the map near Hamburg, and just maybe 10-20 kilometers east of the main German territory. And they give the Zanzibar to the British. The British can control the Eastern Ocean, and so they can have very easy navigation. So this happened, remember, around about 1819 or so, after Suez Canal. So they can go to Bombay, Karachi, and all those, Sri Lanka and Malacca and all those areas easily. So 1890 treaty, then the World War broke down and German Empire lost to the French Empire as well as the British Empire. There is a Treaty of Versailles. It's like a suburb outside the Paris and made, and this area was given to South Africa. South Africa at that time was under the British control. They took over from the Dutch people, the Cape Province and Orange Free State and Natal Province and all those areas. And Louis Botha was the prime minister or chief, prominent leader there, and he governed this area. It's a mandated territory. For other name for a colonial empire. So it came under the control of the South Africa. So it was called Southwest Africa later. At that time, so during this treaty, there was a chancellor in German Empire. His name was Caprivi. He succeeded the Bismarck, and so he gave up the Zanzibar, and British got Heligoland, and the British gave them this particular strip which was under their control, so that the Germans can have access to Zambezi River. And actually, British at the time explored the Zambezi River roundabout from this Quadripoint is 50 kilometers or so. There is Victoria Falls. Even if the ship goes, it will fall down, so they can never reach the ocean. But they kept that point not mentioned. At the time, it was not seriously explored. Anyway, they got it. That's how this Caprivi strip originated looks very, very different. Let's go and we can look at this Caprivi strip. There's the Caprivi strip. And so we have seen these panhandles, the Oklahoma panhandle in Florida, panhandles and so on. So you can see this. So this is the Namibia. And before that, I have mentioned the rivers there. The rivers are Okavango River, Kuyando River, Zambezi River, Chobe River, Kalahari Desert. Quadripoint, four nations, they join together as a common demarcation in that paint. So this is the quadripoint. You see Botswana here, formerly called Botsuana land, and north is the Zambia, that was also the British Empire part. Zimbabwe, at that time it is called Rhodesia. It was governed by Cecil Rhodes, a prominent leader of British origin, and so later changed to Zimbabwe. Bulawayo in the Ndebele land, that is the southern part. Biggest city is Harare, the capital. You can see the Zambezi River. So the British, this is the skeletal coast when the European ships used to come. It is a foggy here. The Benguela current, that is cold, and the Indian Ocean current or Anguilla current, they join together. It's very foggy. You can't see they got shipwrecks and so on. So it's called skeletal coast. And the Namibia desert is one of the driest desert. The capital Windhoek there, Etosha, the important national park there. So this is the Okavango River, also called Kuango River, Kuyuto River, Kwanda River. These three rivers here. See, Angola doesn't have border, so this is the Zambezi River. So this is the Okavango province. This is the Caprivi province. So Germans negotiated this entire area. So now this is Zambezi River. So they got access to Zambezi River. And here downstream somewhere here Victoria Falls is there. Eventually the Zambezi River goes and falls into the Hindu Mahasagar near Mozambique, where they wanted to have an access. They didn't get in at that time. That is a different story. We are not that much concerned. So that is unique geopolitical region, protrusion, a salient region for that purpose. You can also, it is the same thing, Okavango River and Okuando River, Kyoto River, Kuando River, Zambezi River here. Prominent town in this is Katima Malilo. Entire Namibia is a very dry area, but this area is relatively wet, well watered due to Okavango and Kuango and Kyoto Zambezi River. Prominent town is Katima Mulilo, that is, yeah, in Namibian part. See, you can see Victoria Falls here, Livingstone. Kajanjula is a town. This is the Quadripoint. Botswana here, Botsuana land. Zambia is here. And this is the Zimbabwe, Rhodesia here. And this is actually the Caprivi strip of Namibia. Angola is here. That is not it ends there, the border. You can easily see in a different perspective. This is the Caprivi strip. When the British started, say the Ludrage establishment of the Germans, they got their settlement there, eventually conquered the land from the native people. The Walvis Bay is there, South Africa here. So this is the Caprivi strip. Katima Malilo will be somewhere here. You see Kasane. And this is the Okavango Delta, Okavango River, Kuyando and Quito rivers. Here, Zambezi River. This is the Zambezi River here. You can see the same from the perspective of Namibia. You can see the Namibia. You can see the west coast, Walvis Bay here, and it's a very arid region. You can see the Orange River, southern part of Namibia separates from South Africa. At the time, Union of South Africa, and it's a small fish river comes from this Naukluft mountain. Some of these names are German as well as the Dutch in origin. Windhoek and all those areas. See, these are the house mountains here. Our Kalahari Desert here, Botswana. And Botswana, Namibia has 1 or 2 million people, very lot amount of area. So the Rundu town is on the Panga, this Kubango, also called Okavango. This is the Okavango Delta. This is the strip Kaswiri. This is the Zambezi River will be here. The Kuyando River, Kuyuto River here. That is not shown here. You can see. See, when they made the treaty around about 1890, the Germans got Heligoland. You see the Heligoland Heligoland is an island just outside the German mainland. You can see Elbe here. The prominent German town is the Hamburg. This is the Denmark Peninsula. This is the Danish Straits. Because it was in the British control and Germans were uncomfortable in the North Sea because the British ship can blockade them. So they gave the Zanzibar island, which was under the control of Germans at that time. You can see Zanzibar Island. This is the Tanzania. The capital is the Dar es Salaam, and this is the Kenya prominent port city Mombasa and Kenya. You can see when you zoom out, you can see the Zanzibar Island that was under the German control. This is the German part of East Africa, GSA, German East Africa, that is German Southwest Africa. So Germans gave by that treaty and this to the British, so that British have more access to, and in that they called that Heligoland there. So that is this is the river comes here, and this is the Quadripoint where the four nations, very small points, say the Zimbabwe and Namibian Caprivi strip and Zambia and Botswana land, that is the Botsuana land. So you look here, this fascinating how this trip got in the political map is very easy. The Vasco da Gama explorations there and the Portuguese Catholic imperialism was set up throughout the coast. Later, Germans entered into the colonial fray later in the time. They established themselves in the Lutres. Later, the massacred most of the Namako people and got this Namibia and at that time, and because they had the colony in the East Africa, German territory, this is the West Africa, this area, and Zanzibar somewhere here was in their control. They gave this to that, they got here Heligoland. At that time, as a part of the treaty, they wanted the outlet to Hindu Mahasagar, Indian Ocean, through the Zambezi River. That was not possible, that was not known. That way, this strip was formed. Very salient protrusion, like this is the pan, this is the handle of Namibia, and named after a prominent British ruler, a chancellor. Their name is chancellor, like a prime minister type of things, and under the King Wilhelm time, and the entire thing. So they didn't eventually find outlet to Zambezi River. That is a different story. That's why when you look in this fascinating aspect of how these things pan out, you can get a broader idea of the concept of the panhandle. As I said, this is not just to talking about the just a region and mentioning the places. It's much more deeper, and hope you will get a very deeper and broader understanding of the history at the time and how the Caprivi strip was formed, Caprivi Panhandle, as a part of our series Panhandle. And Mitram, if you like the presentations, you can subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends. And you can also post your comments, and see you later in other presentations. Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps, your intellectual Kshatriya's channel.